Hey guys! Alright, so you know that I am ending my YouTube journey, but I did promise you in my last YouTube video on the taglines for the Potomac Housewives Season 5, here's a link above if you didn't watch, I did promise you that I would do 2 more videos before I end my journey. I wanted to do my coming out story with you all and also the first time of me having sex, just because I never in my life shared neither stories with anyone in my life before, and I feel like I should. I have an interesting story and it may be long, but trust me guys, if you really want to know some things, why I am the way I am, or how did I become this person, this is a story that you need to hear. It's not I had a terrible upbringing. A lot of people don't really realize how much of a bad upbringing I really did have. And I don't really talk about it. Like I said, no one really knows about the story. None of my best friends. The only people who know about the story are my family members. And that's just really pinpointing it to my mother and my grandmother. Honestly. Everybody else in my family, they don't know all the struggles I had with being gay and the things I went through. Nobody. So I'm doing this story because I feel like I need to. Maybe this story will influence other people that, hey, if you're in the closet or if you're having trouble with your friends or family, life will get better. And that's why I think I want to share my story with people who are struggling or just need motivation. So I hope you have your tissues. I have my wine. I am a crier. I don't think I ever cried on YouTube, but just in case I start bawling tears because I am talking about my life here, I have tissues here. So let's get the story time started. Alright, so like I said in my video, I am 29 years old. My first post ever saying that I am gay was last year. It was maybe July 1st. I had made a status saying that I am proud to be gay. Here I am. That was my first post, and at that time I was 28 years old. You know, it felt so good to finally say I am gay. This is my first time ever putting anything about my sexuality on social media, and I was scared to even say I was proud to be gay because all my life I've just been so scared to embarrass or shame my family. If you guys watch the rest of the video, you'll understand why I'm saying this. But it honestly felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulder when I posted that picture last year. And my first public post with me posing with a boyfriend just this year, had posted it in March with Matthew. And that's at 29. So for everyone who is struggling with being gay and saying it will never get better, I'm 29 years old and it's just now getting better with me, all right? So I always knew I was gay. I think the first time that I knew I was gay is when my mother and I went to go see Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. Well, his 2 best friends in the movie were gay, and when they were making out, I remember getting my first boner. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm embarrassed. I don't know why I'm embarrassed. But I remember getting my first boner when I saw them kiss in the movie theater. I was like, oh my God, what? And I was so aroused and turned on. And then I knew I was attracted to the same sex. And A.O. Marcus never seen 2 men kiss on TV before, and I never knew that really aroused me. Like I said, I was 8 years old. I never knew that being gay was quote unquote a terrible bad thing. I think I was just like turned on pleasantly, like, ooh, that's kind of cute, that's kind of sexy. And so I remember the first time that I learned that being gay was a bad thing was when a girl in my 5th grade class had said in the middle of the classroom, my mother heard you talk and said that you're gay and that you're gonna go to hell. And everybody in the class like laughed at me. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know what she was talking about. What is gay and what is hell? I wasn't raised in a religious family, so I didn't know what hell was. So I was like, what? And so I didn't know what she was talking about. So that day, I remember talking about it with my mother, asking her, what is hell and what is being gay? And when she asked me why am I asking her that, and I told her what the reason was, boy oh boy, she wasn't happy. My mother is 50% black and 50% Italian. And if you ask me, those are the 2 worst combinations you can ever make, because all you're making is a fiery hothead woman. My mother was so irate. I don't think I ever seen her so angry in my life. I remember her calling everybody that she knew and was telling them the story and how she is going to murder this person. And I was like, oh, what did I say? What did I do? My mother drove me to school the next morning and she demanded for the teacher to set a one-on-one with that kid who told me that and their parents. And I don't know. I was a kid at the time. I can't say how soon it was, but I want to say that it was that day that we all met together. And my mother is a G, okay? She is quite intimidating. The girl and her mother was there. She had no father in her life. And my mother went after her mother's throat. I mean, she was like, say it again. Say it in my face if you want to. You call my son gay, he's gonna go to hell. And the woman was so apologetic. I don't know whether she sincerely was apologizing because she felt wrong or because she was embarrassed that her daughter told me what she said. I don't know. But the woman was so scared of my mother. And I mean, I would have been too. My mother is one scary person. I mean, I'm 29 years old today and I'm still scared of my mother. I will not say a lot of things in front of her because I'm scared of her. My mother is fucking crazy. She's Italian and black. She's not sane at all. No. I mean, she is sane, but she's not, if you get what I'm saying. I'm scared of my mother. And so that right there was the first time I ever knew that being gay was a bad thing. And to give you some background, I was the only male in my family. I was raised with all women. So yeah, I was a little feminine as a kid, but I didn't think that anything was wrong with it until that girl said it in 5th grade. Kids will like make fun of me here and there. You talk like a girl, but it wasn't really anything serious. I mean, I was always a friendly, funny kid, so people always loved me. When I graduated elementary school, we moved to a different area in Maryland. I think that we moved too late for me to register for school, so my mom had made me move to New York with her mother, my grandmother. I went to 6th grade in New York. After 6th grade, I was sent back to Maryland because my mom had set up, you know, whatever she needed to set up for me to go to school. And when I moved back to Maryland in 7th grade, that's when I realized that being gay wasn't really a good thing at all. In Maryland, the school systems for middle school is from 6th to 8th grade. So people have already established friendships. People lived in that neighborhood. They grew up with each other. I didn't know anybody in 7th grade. Nobody. I'm literally a new kid. So just thrown in to a bunch of kids who already were with each other the year before or grew up with each other. I went to middle school 40 minutes away from where we actually lived. I went to middle school where my mother worked. So my mother drove me to school and picked me up from school every day because she worked out there. So I didn't have no friends in my neighborhood. All my friends that I made during my middle school years were either back in New York or 40 minutes away from where I lived. So 7th grade was really hard. I started out with no friends for a long time. A lot of people were making fun of me because I have a feminine voice. I have feminine traits. I am not masculine. I'm very scrawny. I am everything everybody made fun of. So in the beginning of 7th grade, I was in gym class and these group of boys held me down in a locker room and they wrote faggot on the back of my head with a silver marker. I don't think I'd ever been in a fight at that point. Like all day during gym class, those boys were picking on me because I couldn't play basketball. And I was like, you can't play basketball, you throw like a girl, you know? And so when one kid started, you know, another one joined in, and then it felt like the whole entire class was picking on me because I didn't know how to play basketball. And so that teasing led into the locker room and it got so aggressive. Pushing began to happen, and then the next thing I know is that someone jumped on my back and there's like so many guys, like 5 boys on top of me. One person wrote on my head with a silver marker, faggot. I was scared as hell. Like I have like people all on top of my back. I can't move. They're holding me down. Like in all honesty, not to be dramatic, but I actually thought that they were going to rape me or insert something in my ass. I didn't know what exactly was going to happen. All I know is that I was really scared. And I walked around with that faggot for most of the day because I had gym in the beginning of the period. These two guys that were, they were friendly to me and they actually became my friends. One was Nick and the other one was named Raul, maybe. You know, when I got pinned down, I guess they felt bad and so they brought me to the principal's office because I was so embarrassed. I didn't cry, but you can tell I was shocked, I was embarrassed. So they walked me to the principal's office. And then I cried in her office. I cried like a fucking baby, as anybody would. I felt embarrassed because those 5 people held me down and that one person wrote faggot, but there was 30 kids in that locker room with me. And you know, they all told their friends what happened. I don't think I went to the principal's office for a couple periods, so I had that faggot right in the back of my head for maybe an hour or two. So in the next couple classes, everybody else saw what they did to me and was embarrassed. So the principal, I remember her wiping it off with like a paper or whatever, but she couldn't get it all off. So for the rest of the day, I think that you could just see a line. Like I couldn't really see it because it's in the back of my head. I don't have eyes in the back of my head. But I remember Nick and Raul telling me that some of it was wiped away, but you could still see the writing in my head. And like I was crying that day. I didn't eat lunch. I didn't eat dinner because I was embarrassed. How, like, I was held down. I can't really remember what happened to the boys because it was so long ago. And I don't really think about it that often. I mean, come on, who would? So, but I do remember that the 5 boys they did receive some consequence. I can't remember if they were suspended. But I want to say they were, but my mother made sure that something severe happened to them. And that was at the beginning of the year. I don't know. I was just like a kid. I was in 7th grade. How old are you in 7th grade? Like 12 or 13 or 14? How could you do that to somebody? How? It hurts me to this day because, like, why would they do that to me? I'm strong, don't cry. I'm strong, don't cry. It's whatever. So from then on, from 7th grade to 8th grade, I experienced bullying to the max. Kids would throw food at me at lunch. I remember a kid, he spit on my book bag in front of everybody. And I was so embarrassed and no one defended me or anything. And he said, pick it up. You need to pick it up right now. And I picked it up and I put the book back. He spit on the inside of the book bag, so when it touched my back, it would touch me. And I mean, I didn't want to get beat up, so I did what he told me to do. I remember my friends, Nick or Raul, the only 2 male friends I had in middle school, they were just playing around me and they took my milk carton and they put it in between their legs. And I was like, give me my milk carton back. And one of the bullies saw it and was like, he's grabbing Nick's penis. He's a penis grabber. And everybody in the cafeteria was like, oh, he's a penis grabber. He's gay. Faggot. Like as if I was like a witch back in the 1500s. And, you know, they were like, witch, lynch the witch. Like, lynch the faggot. Lynch the faggot. That's when my depression started. That's when I started cutting my wrist in 7th grade. I'm right-handed and I would cut, I want to say from the elbow down. I would just cut my wrist all the time. I would make sure that right here, I would get real good because I just wanted to bleed out and die. I hated myself. Like, yeah, I'm feminine. Yeah, I have a light voice, but I have a great personality. I'm a great person. I'm a loyal friend. I can make you laugh. And nobody during that year really cared. So for the rest of 7th grade, I was bullied. 8th grade started, and this kid named, I won't say his real name, but his real name was Thomas. Thomas had stole my binder and wrote every single gay slur that you can think of on my binder. And everybody in my English class laughed, and I was embarrassed to even tell the teacher. Well, my mother saw the binder maybe that day or that week or whatever. And, you know, like I said before, she's 50% black and 50% Italian, and she has an anger issue. And she went to the school, wanted to fight him and his parents. And he was suspended, and he had to buy me a new binder. But when he got suspended, he was really popular in my middle school, and a lot of kids even bullied me even more because I got him suspended. And, you know, you little faggot, you got my friend suspended, you know, pushing me in the bathroom. I was, like, I remember being choked in the bathroom. Like, I remember using the bathroom, peeing, and some of his friends are in the bathroom at the same time, coincidentally, and they put their hands around my throat, and they, like, held, like, one guy was so fucking fat. He looked like Fat Albert. He lifted me up in the air. Kid you not. I mean, I'm a skinny guy, so at that time, I probably was like a twig in 8th grade, but he lifted me up in the air, and he was squeezing so tight, and he had 2 friends with him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is how I'm gonna die. I kept thinking, this is how I'm going to die. Oh my God. And then I don't know why, he just dropped me, and then they all just walked out the bathroom. Whatever. But, you know, I remember telling my mother, and my mother's like, enough is enough. I'm tired of this, because I've dealt with, you know, from 7th to 8th grade at this point, I dealt with a lot of bullying. So in the middle of 8th grade, I had to leave that middle school. My mother transferred me out of that middle school because it was so much bullying. Honestly, I'm such a nice person, and to be just, I don't care if I was a nice person. You don't treat someone that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I have so much anger towards that era of my life, and that's the reason why I don't talk about it with my friends, and I never brought it up. Like, the only people who really know about it is my grandmother and my mother, but I just don't bring that up ever in conversation. So in the middle of 8th grade, I started a new middle school, and I was very quiet because of what happened the years prior. I wasn't really myself for the latter part of my 8th grade year in the new school. I was more quiet, I reserved. People tried to talk to me, and I was like, hi, you know, I was really quiet because if I opened my mouth and they heard my feminine voice, or they saw my feminine traits, you know, the year and a half prior to that, I was like, I didn't want that to happen for this time. So I just act like I don't know English. I act like I was mute. I did. I just wasn't myself for the latter part of my 8th grade year. I was scared. You know, this is the reason why I'm shy today, because those kids in middle school really, really made me hate myself. They made me hate the way I talk. They made me hate my mannerisms. They made me hate how skinny and frail I was. And so everything that I loved about myself, they took it away. People never believe me when I tell them I'm shy, but I am shy because of those things that I went through in middle school. You immediately pick up on my light voice when I start speaking, and you also probably pick up on my feminine mannerisms. So, you know, I was just so uncomfortable where I was just trying to keep to myself and just, you know, keep quiet, and I didn't want to do or say anything because I honestly did not want these new kids to torture me like what they were doing to me at my old middle school. You know, to this very day, I have trouble accepting my mannerisms. Like, I'm 29 years old, and I'm just now accepting that it's okay to be feminine. It's quite fine. Like, you know, who are they to tell you how to act? But, you know, it's something I'm working on. It's a work in progress. Kids are mean. So when I started high school was a new era for me. I actually became quite semi-popular. I wasn't that popular, but I definitely was well known. All right, let's put it that way. I mean, I have a great personality, I have a great voice, I have a great spirit. So hey, I was cool with everybody. I mean, of course, everybody was asking me, are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? And I was denying it like a motherfucker because of what happened years prior. But I think to this day, like, you know, right now, I think that they knew back then, but I was like, I'm not gay, I like boobs! Show me your boobs! And your vagina! If they did, I was like, ugh. I was making like, in my mind, I was like, ugh. But I was trying to like act like, oh, a pussy, yes! Yeah, people show me their boobs and their vagina. Like, cause they were like, you're not gay. Look at her boobs. I was like, show it to me, show it to me. So, you know, some girls will flash me their boobs or, you know, flash me the vagina. And I will act like I was interested. I remember touching one too. I just actually want you to guess what I touched. And it bit me. I'm playing, no I didn't. But I thought it was going to. However, in 9th grade, I was involved with a boy. my first boy on boy action. That's another, I want to make that another video. I want to do like a my first sex story. That's part of my first sex story. But before that, because of my bullying from 7th to 8th grade, I really did have serious depression, and I had PTSD. Is that what it's called? PTSD? I tried to commit suicide a lot of times. And so because of my suicidal acts, I was sent to a counselor, and the counselor told me to have a journal, write in my journal every day. So in 9th grade, my science teacher had put us on and made us do a project and paired us up with different people in the classroom. I was paired up with someone who also was gay. We fooled around. He gave me a hickey. I wrote about it in my fucking journal. My mother was questioning, who gave you that fucking hickey? I said I gave it to myself. I would punch myself. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I was lying. I don't know. It was in 9th grade. Don't judge me. And when I came home the next day, my mother had my journal out on the table. I wrote in the journal about my first fucking gay experience, like a fucking loser that I am. What the fuck was I thinking? I don't know. So that's when my mom knew that a guy gave me a hickey. And then she gave me the sex talk. And I don't really know if, I never really asked any of my friends if their parents ever gave them the sex talk. But my sex talk started like, do you know what a butt plug is? What the fuck? I kid you not, my mother said, do you know what a butt plug is? That's how she started the conversation. And I'm like, and I didn't know what a butt plug was. I was like, what the fuck is a butt plug? She told me. A butt plug is when you have a butt and you insert something in it so often that it becomes so wide that when you fart, you shit yourself. So to prevent the shitting, you put a plug in. And I'm like, I mean, I'm in 9th grade. I was traumatized. I was scared. I didn't want to pass gas and shit on myself. I was like, what the fuck? My mother really did scare the shit out of me. No pun intended. And luckily, so that motherfucker told everybody, and like, this is gonna be in my next video, but that motherfucker told everybody in high school that we had sex. He sure did. He told everybody in high school that we fucked. I was like, we fucked on a Friday. By Saturday morning, my friends would ask me, are you gay? Because Dion is telling people you had sex. And you know, to this fucking day, no one in high school knew I had sex with him because, I denied it. I said, no, the fuck I didn't. I even fought the motherfucker. He beat my ass because I denied it. I was like, you're a fucking liar. He beat the shit out of me. I mean, yeah, I was lying. You didn't have to beat me up too. But to this very day, nobody, not even my best friend, knows I actually did have sex with Dion. I did. If you follow me from high school, yeah, I lied. Oh my God, can you blame me? Oh my God, I'm sweating just thinking about it. What? Shut up. Don't fucking judge me. Shut up. Drink your wine with me, bitch. So luckily, after he told people we had sex, she actually moved away. I was like, oh my God, thank God. You know, like, what the fuck? Like, literally, I want to say like a month later, he moved away. So I don't know if people forgot about what he told everybody in 9th grade, but I sure made everyone forget that he told everyone in 9th grade. Oh my God, I brought these tissues out. I'm never crying. I didn't think how funny my life actually was. I thought my life was really sad. Well, it is sad, but I think I'm making it funny. So my whole entire high school life, yeah, I just acted like I wasn't gay. You know, my mother, she wasn't really happy that she maybe knew her son was gay. I kind of wish that my family or my mother really embraced homosexuality, and they didn't. That really ruined me as a child, because I think she knew I was gay, and I think that she would make those comments because she wanted me to change my sexuality myself. But I knew that her stance, or I felt that her stance on homosexuality wasn't going to be on the plus sides. And so it didn't really help me, for instance, meaning I already was suicidal. So it didn't help my mentality at that time. You know, I tried to commit suicide 7 times. This is a funny story. I know it's supposed to be sad, but the one time, the one time I remember committing suicide, it's about my sexuality, and maybe my mother and I had an argument, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna commit suicide. So I took a bunch of pills, and so I remember crying because I was like, I can't believe I'm actually about to do this. I went to bed and I was sobbing in tears because I said, I can't believe I'm about to die like this. This is how I'm going to end my life. Well, I remember my mother waking me up like, you're about to miss the bus. What are you doing? Like, why are you up? Well, you don't set your alarm. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh my God, I made it. I made it. I didn't know that taking 10 Tylenols wasn't going to kill me. I took 10 Tylenols thinking that it was going to kill me. And so I was really shocked that my mother was waking me up saying, "What? You didn't set your alarm clock? You're supposed to be responsible. You're supposed to be in high school. What am I waking you up for? You're about to miss the bus. I'm not taking you to school. If you miss the bus, you're going to walk to school." And I'm like, oh my God, I actually lived. Me being 29, I mean, I actually learned years later that 10 Tylenols are not going to kill you. But me being 15 or whatever, how old I was, 16 years old, I didn't know that at the time. I thought that if I took 10 Tylenols, I was going to commit suicide. So after I graduated high school in 2009, my family from New York has said, you know, you should come here for college. So I was like, hey, I want to do that. I was 18 years old. I want to move out of my mom's house. I want to actually have a college experience. So I moved to New York after I graduated high school. To me, that was probably one of the worst mistakes I've ever made. Well, you know, when a kid thinks that they're going to go to college, you honestly think that they're going to get, you're going to party, you're going to make all these friends, you're going to get a huge college experience, and I didn't get that. So me moving to New York, I had to take a year off of school because I didn't want to pay out-of-state tuition. So I didn't really have that many friends. I didn't have no friends in New York except my family, and my family is really, really small. So for that first year, I just hung around my family and I was just kind of like miserable in a way. One of the requirements of me living in New York with a family member was that I had to participate in this certain religion. My family was involved with Jehovah's Witnesses, and they had said, Marcus, you know, if you move to New York and stay with us, you're going to have to partake in this religion. And I was 18, like I said, and I never really had any experience with any other religion. My mother was never religious, and she never took me to church. I never went to church by 18. I never had been in a church. So I was quite curious about a religion, just because I knew that in 2012, the world was supposed to end. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the Mayans predicted that the world was going to end in 2012. So in 2009, I was quite curious and wanted to learn more about a higher being. I accepted it. I said, sure, I would like to learn about Jehovah's Witnesses and I will partake in it. I didn't realize there was so many rules you have to follow. I don't know if you all are familiar with the religion, but there are so many goddamn rules you have to follow that it's just unbelievable. No cursing, no rated R movies, no social media, no friends outside of the religion, can't go to bars, you can't drink, you can't go to college, can't have tattoos, can't have piercings for men. Women can have piercings, but only appropriate ones. Like, it was so many fucking rules, and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So because I lived with my family, I had to go by their rules. I couldn't make friends at work. I was never allowed to hang out with anyone from work. If they were not part of the religion, I had no business hanging out with them. You know, in the first year and a half, 2 years that I lived in New York, I actually was trying so hard to be part of the religion, but I actually disagreed with a lot of things that they said. And it just really bothered me. I didn't understand why I couldn't have friends outside of that religion. When I just started going to college, I was never allowed to hang out with someone from college or my job place. It was ridiculous. It's like, are you serious right now? If I was caught hanging out with somebody outside the religion, the elders, which is like the pastor, priest, would tell the congregation, I'm a bad person and no one should hang with me. And obviously being gay is a big no. So I didn't participate in any homosexuality for the first 2 years just because I was really trying to follow the rules of that religion. But the older I got, the more I started realizing that I don't agree with some things that they teach. At age 19, I decided to get 3 tattoos. I got 1 right here and 2 on my back. And some people in the congregation found out about it. And you know, people were just like judging me. You got tattoos? Oh my God, we shouldn't hang out with you no more. Like, what? So these people that I'm hanging out with at this congregation, they were my friends. So when they started pulling back because of my tattoos, I started really disagreeing with the religion. And by that point, 2 years later, I was just like, fuck it, whatever. I can't do this no more. My inner desire to have sex with a man was becoming so strong because at this point, I'm like 20 years old. So I want to have sex with a guy so bad at this point, and I'm trying so hard to follow this religion. And it's just that religion was just conflicting with my own beliefs. So I started going on Grindr and Jack, and I started fooling around with guys. Of course, I didn't tell my family because if my family knew, I would be kicked out of the home and I'd also be kicked out of the religion. So I had to keep everything on the DL. Once someone had found out about some things that I was doing, I was outed in the congregation. The elders had made an announcement in the congregation saying that I am a bad association and no one should hang out with me. So I literally lost all of my friends like that. So and at this point, I was maybe 4 years living here and I had a year left of college. So when I was 24, I had no friends. All my friends were from the congregation. I never hung out with anyone from work, and I never made friends at school because I never dormed at school. So it's harder when you don't dorm on a college and not from the area to make friends. So I was just all alone and just lonely. And I was so suicidal again. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. I was just confused. My family, some of them cut me off after that. I didn't talk to my family for a couple years. They left me high and dry. And I just felt like you guys brought me to this state, and now that I don't want to participate in the religion because I'm choosing my sexuality, you guys are going to kick me to the curb. And I felt like that's what happened. When I graduated college, I end up getting my own apartment, and that's when I honestly really started doing me. I wasn't forced to go to that congregation and hang out with the witnesses no more. I wasn't forced to be friends only with the congregation. You know, I started making friends at work, and I started, you know, dating. I started going to bars. I started doing things that normally people started to do. But I felt like I started, like I was 25, but I felt like I was like 19 because I just never could do a lot of things that a 19-year-old could do. I felt like I had like a lot of catch up to do. I think that my early 20s was really dark because I was involved in that religion. And they honestly really made me feel worse than how the kids made me feel in middle school. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that people should go to college. And so they were like, why are you in college? Why are you in college? You need to quit. The world is ending tomorrow. There's no point of you going to college. And so they were like really talking down to me because I decided to go to college and not serve God 24/7. Sorry, I'm going to finish college. Like, I'm just sorry. What if the world does end tomorrow? I still need to go to college to get a good job and live on my own. Come on. That religion just fucked me up altogether. And that's probably the reason why I don't really believe in any God. Like religion, just like that whole situation, I would never join another religion ever again. So here we are at age 25. I'm in a different state than I went to high school with. I lost touch with a lot of my high school friends because, you know, when you move out of state, you lose touch with people. All the people that I made friends in the new state that I am are not allowed to hang out with me. I have no friends, okay? No friends. And I would just honestly just be like lonely a lot of times. I would see people on Facebook and on Instagram hanging out with their friends, going out of town, and I didn't have any of that. I just felt, and I still don't have friends, and that's the reason why. I mean, 25 was only 4 years ago, and that's the reason why I don't have that many friends today. I honestly wish I had like a lot of more gay friends. I don't have that many gay friends today. You know, when in my early 20s, I was told I couldn't hang out with anybody outside the religion. So that's the reason why I don't have any friends. It's just fucking sad. It was just it's a sad life I had. So once I got my own apartment, you know, I told you I started dating, and then I still wasn't posting like things that I really wanted to post just to save face for my family members. But last year when I went to Vegas, we went in late June, and I think the day that we went, it was Pride Month or Pride Day. And so I wore my Pride shirt and I posted that I'm proud to be a gay. My family saw it, and they never, only one of my family members acknowledged it, and he said, I'm really thankful that you're happy. And I said, thank you. And we've been cool since, but you know, I think that since I've lived on my own and I started just living the life I want to live, you know, my family really do accept me. I don't know if times has changed and that's why they changed their mentality against homosexuality, but I feel like they're in a better place than we were when I was growing up. However, I to this day still have not officially told them face to face that I am gay, but they're all friends with me on social media, so they see all the posts and tweets I make all the time. But I'm 29 years old and I love myself for who I am. I love that I'm black. I love that I am gay. I love my mannerisms. I love my fucking fruity ass voice. I love myself. And that's how it should be. So if you're at home right now struggling and you feel like you will never be happy, trust and believe. I mean, like I said, for the 50th time, this is a drinking game. Drink every time, take a shot every time I say my age. But I am 29 years old and I'm just now finding my happiness. So there is no age limit on when you can be happy. You can start becoming happy at 56 because you're starting to live the life you're living. You just have to really just do it at your own time and accord. I do hope that, you know, I am a friendly person and I do wish I had more friends than what I do, but I am appreciative for the friends that I have. But I honestly wish I had more gay friends because a lot of times, you know, talking to straight people, they can't relate to the things I go through being a gay male. So that's like one of my only wishes, honestly, that I had more gay friends. So there you have it. That's my story. I hope that it was interesting. I know this was like very, very long and I probably was running on, but I just wanted everyone to, I just wanted everybody to get a full understanding of what I went through and why I am the way I am. I am happy that I went through the things I went through because I don't think that I would be the person today if I didn't. Like Marcus, now being 29, I can read a whole real quick. But the 15-year-old Marcus couldn't do that. But now I will read you, fight you, curse you out, have no fear of nobody. And I think that my past made me stronger. Gay black boy magic, what can I say? So the next and potentially last YouTube video that I'll be doing is the first time that I had sex. So if you like this video, look out for my next one, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please subscribe to my page if you haven't already. And while you're on my page, check out my other videos and let me know if you agree or disagree with anything that I said. Down below in the description area, under More Marcus, I put my Instagram and Twitter information, so go ahead and follow me, guys. That way you can send me a DM for any video requests that you have. I can't wait to talk to you all again. Bye, guys. I might.